Geek Out! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Geek Out Championship Wrestling. The only wrestling podcast with the balls to do one or two episodes every pay-per-view. On a pay-per-viewly basis, if you will. I am your host with the most, Mr. Chris Nolan. Across from me in the ring, my co-host with the co-most, former champion of the Mark's Prediction League, Mr. Timmy C.
It sounds so much better when I was the champion.
Yeah.
I'll get it back.
Yeah.
But you did forget one thing during my introduction.
Yes.
I am the only Geek Out undisputed champion.
I mean, you're not currently the undisputed, but you are the only person that
in history. I'm
so far
the first and only so far.
And we'll get into that too.
We will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I can't wait to find out if I'm the new undisputed champion.
And we will find out as we go through.
As you heard when I introduced, he is the former Mark's Prediction champion, which means since we were the only two going for it, I, Mr. Chris Nolan, am the new first two-time Mark Prediction champ.
And I obviously did not have a great time watching Money in the Bank. That's what else it means. But I did have a great time watching NXT TakeOver.
NXT was great.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Again. At
As
some
per
point,
usual.
At some point, does Vince say, hey, boy, they're really doing a great job over there. Maybe we, try to... No, he's not. He's going to say, hey, I'm going to take all the good and then deflate the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't let them keep making my product look bad.
Yes.
I will take their best and make them look bad.
Exactly. Because they can't cut it in the big leagues.
No.
And I don't know. Where do you want to start with NXT? Because I could start anywhere, and I'm just gushing.
Really could. It was a solid show.
The tag team match.
Let's start there.
First off, I was a little upset on the pre-show because, there was no Adam Cole, baby!
Yeah.
There was none of that.
No.
But
he was there.
He was there. And he actually came in that match as well.
Yeah.
He got go to him, get gone, kicked out of there.
Yeah, he did.
But I did think, and I did how
he didn't even make it all the way up the ramp, though, did he?
Well, I did like the fact that the crowd was yelling bullshit when he
right.
When he he pulls O'Reilly out of the ring, and they're like, he gets kicked out. They're like, oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But
how dare you kick a man out of the ring for pulling someone else out of the ring?
Right, but it was such a heel move.
Yeah,
but it got celebrated because it's
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole,
Bay.
I was really impressed with Birch.
Yeah,
Birch super impressed me.
So ever since their best of 7 series, I liked Oney Lorcan.
Yeah,
mostly because he had been there for a while, Yep. And he was
good too. Don't get me wrong. In this match, he was good.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the team in general, but in fact, I think he's the reason why I like Elias so much, because he was one of Elias's last opponents in NXT, and they had 2 really good matches.
Right.
That ultimately was the you lose, you leave the company match.
Right.
And those 2 matches just elevated both of them. And then Oney Lorcan, during that best of 7 series, really elevated Birch for me, because I didn't know Birch. I think he was in the UK tournament.
Yeah, I didn't know much about him.
Yeah. All I knew going into that was that both of them do the finger up in the air, but Birch does the peace sign, and
right.
Oni is desperately trying to tell everyone that his name is pronounced Woney, because he puts up the single finger.
Yes.
That is the joke that I keep making. Every once in a while, someone laughs, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Safety first.
Yeah. I created Tim Safety First Dunst.
There you go.
I will continue to claim that.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it, but I'll let you roll with
There
it.
you go. I'm the one that created the T-shirt that I've seen one person wearing. So,
are you still on the rise with Roderick Strong?
I am.
He was awesome.
He keeps getting.
Come on.
He keeps getting better.
Come
to
on.
Me.
I've said it all along. I'm so glad you're finally coming to the good side.
Now that he has a good character, it's not just, man, I grew up in a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, I know plenty of people that grew up in a trailer.
I got kids.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
He's got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, now that he's like a legitimate character, you know, a real person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm digging it.
There were multiple times in that match that I thought could go either way.
Yeah.
And I was okay with it. I was okay with the Undisputed Era losing just for the fact of the match. And we'll get into it with Money in the Bank. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah, that is when you have some of the best wrestling from you know, like a smarky point of view. Like, that's the best wrestling where you can sit back and you're like, I'm fine with it going either way.
Yep.
You know, especially if they can bring in someone that you don't really like on one side, you know, like with Birch and Oney Lorcan during their Best of 7 series. I was like, Oney Lorcan all the way, and then by the time it was over, I was like, I don't give a fuck which one of these guys win because they're both great.
Going.
Yeah, just keep fighting. Yeah. And I hate Best of 7 series.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good. So I thought that was a really good tag match. The women's match?
I love me some Nikki Cross,
but I thought that was the dud of the entire card.
That's fair. Out of all the matches, I can see you saying that is the weakest. But I still think that Nikki really did a good job bringing it to Shayna Baszler.
Do we think Nikki moves up with Sanity? Because Sanity hasn't really gone live yet.
Fun fact: over the course of this weekend, I stumbled across a couple articles that have been talking about why Sanity. Mark here. But why Sanity and also Authors of Pain have not been seen since they really got called up, and more so for Sanity because we haven't even seen them at all.
Do tell.
So apparently there was a 1-2 punch right at the same time for both teams. Sanity apparently are having some trouble with visas because not all of them are U.S. citizens.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed.
They didn't have any issues when they were in NXT?
Well, I think a visa lapsed right around the time that they got called up, or there's an issue with maybe the travel schedule. I don't know what the legality of visas are.
Maybe the timing was right as they were going overseas.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Okay.
But so they can't. They're not going to be on TV. Supposedly, this is all alleged too. I don't know any cold hard facts. These are from dirt sheets and stuff. Mm-hmm. But so apparently that's the reason why they're not on TV, because they can't legally work, or at least what's his name, the Beast from Belfast, the big guy. You're gonna do this thing that you always do. I'm terrible with names, and you're just gonna look at me. I don't remember his name.
Carry on.
Okay, he can't legally be paid to be on a U.S.
because of the
show
visa.
Because of the visa, allegedly. And then apparently with the Authors of Pain, it's some sort of trademark issue, which doesn't surprise me at all. Authors of Pain sounds like something that someone else has trademarked,
right?
And probably it was not an issue until it was on such a big stage like the main roster. When they were just on NXT, maybe no one noticed, or the people that own the copyright for the phrase Authors of Pain didn't notice. But now that they're on the main roster, they're like, oh, hold on. I wrote a book called Author of Pain, or whatever it is.
Right.
Again, this is also alleged.
Yeah. Maybe Killian Dane wrote that book.
Your dick.
Come on.
Come on.
Woo. All right. So anyway, the women's match, it is what it is. Baszler retained.
Mm-hmm. I did think that like I said, I think Nikki Cross, did her best. Mm-hmm. I think she still looks, as strong as she did going into the match, if anything else.
Do you see a rematch, or do you see somebody else coming in the picture?
I could see someone else coming in the picture.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing that they did with Nikki Cross and Asuka. There was a big build up to it, and then there was it felt like there was only one match.
Is there really a dominant, woman that could come in and really just? be a match, or is this just kind of like they're just guiding it through right now?
I think they're just coasting it.
Okay.
You know,
I'm looking forward to
Jessamine Dukes apparently has been signed, and she's one of Shayna Baszler's real life friends, and they're like, you know, they were in MMA stuffs together. So maybe she comes in and does it
like a Zayn and Owens thing?
Yeah. Maybe like that.
Okay.
I could definitely Dukes definitely has more of the like babyface look to her, so I could see them having like she could be it's not a perfect analogy, but she could be like the Sami Zayn to Baszler's Kevin Owens type of story.
NXT Championship, Aleister Black, Lars Sullivan. This one was 1A of the kind of the ladder, like lowered.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't as excited.
Did you catch that complete whiff of the Black Mass?
I did.
That
didn't help the match.
No.
From a ratings perspective, for me, it was low.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah. Who's Dave?
Meltzer. With his ratings.
Yeah. Fuck Dave Meltzer.
Right?
Yeah.
Mortal enemies of all podcasters. But
that's our style. That's what we do.
Yeah. We are everyone.
We don't care.
Everyone else's mortal enemies. Tights and
care.
Fights, you're on notice.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
And if you don't like us, then listen to us.
Yeah, right? What?
Yeah, what?
But I love me some Lars Sullivan, but this I've been more excited about a match that he's been in.
Yeah.
They had a lot of good spots because, you know, Aleister Black, you know, can make his shit look good.
Yeah.
That if it hadn't been for the fact that he slapped his leg on the Black Mass that missed, that was like a foot away,
that was bad.
I think Lars could have just played it off as like and just like fallen backwards, but because Aleister like clapped his hip like he's supposed to, it just looked bad.
It was just a botch, and it happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing to Aleister Black.
Yeah,
it's just something that happens.
Yeah.
Who do you think his next challenger is? Because I really hope this doesn't last with Lars.
No, I could see EC3 coming in.
Nice.
I do like me some EC3.
I'd be okay with that.
Ricochet is now on the pedestal.
Oh, you want to talk about that now?
We can.
What an amazing match.
Yeah.
I could watch that match over and over,
you know,
and over and over and over.
The big piece of the puzzle was that you had the Dream there.
Dude, I love.
He does not have bad matches.
When he's just posing on the Spanish announce table as Ricochet's coming in.
By the way, did you appreciate as much as I did the fact that he came out in full Hulk regalia? and even I forget which commentator it was, but it was like, what was it, Dreamomania or Velvomania is in full effect, and I was like, yeah,
hats off to that.
Yeah,
I think
it was Dreammania.
What a great match!
It was beautiful.
I just unbelievable.
Like I said before, I got a preview of that at a house show.
I know,
and it was good there. And they elevated it from that.
So jealous that you got to see it ahead of time. But I still can't believe that the Velveteen Dream is so young.
Yeah, it's not fair.
And speaking of stumbling upon podcasts or stumbling upon, rap sheets, right? Yeah. There's rumor that they could bring the Dream up as soon as next week.
Ooh.
Yeah. My boy SJY3000 told me, next week he might come up. I'm like, no way. You can't have that.
I as much as I love him, I do feel like that's too quick. Especially since there's so much more he can do in NXT right now.
I want to see him with some sort of gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put him against Adam Cole.
Baby. Would that not be great?
It would.
I
could also see Ricochet going that route against Adam Cole for that belt.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, since we're on that.
Okay.
Have there been a lot of belts in the past that are like purely like I guess you would call it like a gimmick match belt? Like I know like the hardcore belt was like anywhere, like it was like a falls count anywhere kind of thing.
And I love that.
That's I wish they would either bring that back or bring something like that, into the mix. Have there been a lot of belts like that? Because part of me kind of wants the North American belt to only be a ladder match defense.
They had like the cruiserweight belt before they
Mm-hmm.
brought the cruiserweights in for the 205 Live. So even back, they had that belt, but they didn't have too many like gimmick belts.
Yeah.
They had like silly stuff like King of the Ring. To me, it was silly. To
Yeah,
some people they love that kind of stuff, but
yeah.
They're
I mean, I guess they have like Money in the Bank, which is always a ladder match.
yeah.
But yeah, like for whatever reason, Intercontinental title, I always love it when it's defended in a ladder match.
Ted
like
DiBiase had a money belt.
yeah, yeah.
You remember that?
You win by throwing money at each other.
So-
Whoever throws the most money
So
at the other person.
There's been some stuff like that, but
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see that defended. Like just in ladders.
The ECW championship, I think, kind of went to a waste. When they had that, kind of like, it was meant for ECW, the show,
Mhm.
and it was more of like a hardcore belt, but
Right.
not really the hardcore belt. And then it kind of
Because ECW was the hardcore brand.
it was, but then it kind of lost its luster, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got rid of it,
Yeah.
of course, but yeah, what a great match that was between the Velveteen Dream
Yeah.
and Ricochet, and hats off to Ricochet. I mean, I didn't think that he would win, but I'm okay with it. That was another one of those matches. I'm fine with it.
I think kind of what I predicted, held true really well, that like Velveteen Dream is like the enhancement for people that are already enhanced a little
Yeah.
bit. So like Ricochet has this air. He's had a couple great matches already, and now he's in at least in Backstage's eye, in Gorilla's eye, he's elevated to where he can start challenging for belts and big
Yeah.
gold.
And what I like about the Velveteen Dream is he's more than just a gimmick.
Yes.
He's not,
Yeah. Oh, I would hate it if he was just like a younger like Gold Dust or something like that, because that's almost the way that they have him like moving.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the character is his own versus what they've devised in the back, but like he has that kind of like androgynous, as they put it, in WWE, like weird, thing going on. But he really makes it his own, and he makes it like a real character, and he's got the in-ring prowess to back it up as a credible threat. Not saying that Goldust doesn't. He's a great competitor in his own right.
Yep.
But like for a while, Goldust was just, I'm the weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And surprisingly enough, that street fight was awesome between Gargano and Ciampa. And I hope this is it, because I don't want them to have any more matches.
Yeah.
Like, they can have more on the main roster, whatever, like what they did with Owens and Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
And they played that out, and it was boring by the end of that. But wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the street fight was it was great. And it was another one of those matches where either way, I was fine with it. And that and the Velveteen Dream match, it was not for anything. And at first, when we were talking to the preview show, I was like, I didn't like the fact that they're not for anything.
Yeah.
No title, no, I quit or I leave or whatever.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, that's what I didn't care.
Yeah.
It was just such good
It was
wrestling.
just two dudes.
I didn't care. So hats off to NXT overall.
Yeah.
I mean, it was honestly a really great event. Another great takeover. And I really look forward to these more than the main roster.
I think part of it is that it's not oversaturated. We get a takeover more or less every 3 months, as opposed to a pay-per-view every month.
Right.
So they're able to hold off on their big guns.
Yep.
And really let the thing simmer. Whereas like at this point, pay-per-views on the main roster just feel like, oh, this week we get an extra episode of Raw.
Sometimes it really feels that way.
Yeah, it's even longer because it's 4 or 5 hours long, but it's still it's just an intense episode of Raw. It's not a pay-per-view.
Well, and I feel like you get more wow moments. More mark out moments
More moms.
That's why. Yeah, I love moms.
Mm.
But that's why I love NXT, because that's everything that the wrestling fan in me loves.
Yeah.
That you have those jump off your couch, oh my gosh moments where it's what a move. I can't believe they did that.
Mm-hmm.
In WWE back in the Attitude Era had moments like that. And even past that, there were little moments like that. And I wish the main roster would have more of those in their pay-per-views. More moments that just shock the crap out of you. And you're like, yes, this is why I love this. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it with...
You mean, you mean certain people coming back didn't do that for you this pay-per-view?
No. It
Same.
Didn't. It didn't. So you want to talk about the pay-per-view?
Let's get into it.
All right. So I thought this was just okay. I was kind of expecting more out of this pay-per-view. Again, it's one of my favorites with the actual match, the Money in the Bank ladder match.
The Twitter was quite divided with this pay-per-view.
Sure.
Saw a lot of people, I mean, as per usual, saw a lot of people upset about it.
I didn't even tweet about it. That's how upset I was.
I tweeted one thing about it in regards to Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Because she's the future ex Mrs. Nolan.
Well played.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, Big Cass. We weren't jazzed about it before.
No.
I thought it was good to kick off the show with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I really hope Daniel Bryan moves on from this.
Much like how you were with Gargano and Ciampa. I hope this is the last time they ever fight.
Right.
Period. Like not even like maybe down the line. No, just nail in that coffin.
I don't know what to do about Big Cass.
Yeah,
I
big
really
ass.
Don't. Yeah, I just maybe tag him with somebody.
Yeah. Give him some tiny little rapper type.
No way, Jose. No way.
Don't ruin No Way Jose like that. Give him Leo Rush.
Oh, okay. So do we need to spend more time on that match?
Not really. There was nothing. There's. I mean, I didn't take notes or anything during this. I know you're usually a little bit better prepared than I am for these things. I like to fly off the cuff. Sure. Like to call it in the ring, if I may. But there was nothing, substantial or remarkable about this match that I was like, oh, we got to talk about that.
Speaking of unremarkable, Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn. Surprisingly, Lashley won, but again, this one remember when I said earlier that I didn't care who won?
Yeah.
This one I didn't care who won, but it was for the wrong reasons, because I just wanted it to be over.
Right.
Like, I didn't care. Like, they have no chemistry inside the ring. I think they had some botch moments in there. And again, I really don't have much to say on this. I think we both picked Zayn and we were both wrong. So let's move to the Elias Rollins match, which I think was probably one of Elias's better matches that I've seen him wrestle.
It was damn good.
And I understand Rollins keeping the belt because you want him to be a legit champion.
Yeah.
But man, was I surprised that Elias didn't win, because there were a couple moments there, and I know Seth was selling the neck and everything really well, but man, did I think that Elias was going to walk away with that belt.
Yeah. You so just to pull back the curtain a little bit, we are recording this while Raw is on right now. Have you caught any of Raw tonight?
I did not. No.
Okay, then never mind. Let's move on.
I had to travel over to your house.
It's true. Yeah, and that was like basically during the first hour.
And then I had to get ready and get in the ring and then get everything.
You had to get pumped.
Up.
You had to dunk your head into the bucket of water.
I did.
So that it looked like you were already sweating.
And then I slicked back my hair. Now you can't do that anymore because you've lost it all.
Yeah, I pulled a Baron Corbin.
Yeah, you really did.
I am now the constable of Geek Out Championship Wrestling.
So the women's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they had some great shit in here.
They left you speechless.
They did, yeah. I think every woman had at least a moment where she looked really strong. Lana surprisingly pulled out a lot of interesting, shit with like just being aggressive, like with the ladders and shit like that.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I like how Alexa Bliss did nothing for like the first part of the whole thing.
Yeah, because
that
that's
was nice.
who she is.
That's nice.
I feel like you're being sarcastic.
100%.
Yeah. That was the main complaint that I saw from everyone. They were like, how could Alexa Bliss win? She didn't do anything in the match. It's like, when Miz does that, you have no problem.
Well, that's not my main complaint about it, but if I may, my biggest complaint about this and the men's match.
Yeah.
You have people that won that are already in the main event picture for both of those titles.
I will agree to that. That Bliss did not need this.
Correct. And so now she's in the same boat as when John Cena won.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
That I can't wait for them to cash in and lose. I don't want her to win.
You finished the pay-per-view, right?
I did finish the pay-per-view.
Okay.
I was getting to the next part.
Sorry.
But you know, when that stuff happens, you root for them to lose.
Fair.
Now, when somebody on the mid-card wins, you root for them to win. So I was really big into Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I really wanted her to win.
I would have loved her to win.
She almost did win.
Yes.
As did others. I know.
Yeah,
blah, blah, whatever. But look, good for Bliss. Congratulations on that one for you, buddy.
Yep.
But overall, I do agree with you. A lot of great action.
Yeah.
And a lot of surprises. I do agree with you with the Lana thing. I agree with you across the board. Ember Moon was good.
Yeah. Naomi kicked it out.
Naomi did. So hats off. I actually thought the women's Money in the Bank was better than the men's.
I can agree with that.
So
anyway. I did like how the men all started with ladders.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and gosh, dude, Sasha Banks, she's got to be in like so much pain after all of these pay-per-views. I feel so bad for her. She just gets hammered on a lot of these.
Hold on, did I just mix up two Money in the Bank matches? Because I was rewatching 2011's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the day of. Is that the Money in the Bank pay-per-view where all the men started off with ladders in their hands?
Just go with it. You're on a roll.
Sorry,
Speaking of great matches, Jinder Mahal and Roman Reigns. CM Punk.
Oh my God!
Punk.
I was wondering when the CM Punk chants were going to start because it's Chicago.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that there haven't been just insane CM Punk chants ever since the verdict came out.
Yeah,
of the trial. But yeah, damn.
Yeah,
the crowd was totally not to this match.
No, not at all.
Understandably, because there was just nothing done to build up this.
Yeah, not at all.
And no one really cares about the two wrestlers. Fine, both of them can work okay, but on a big stage like this, at a pay-per-view, I don't want to see two good workers go up against each other. I would like one good worker and then one shining star. That'll be great.
Speaking of wrestlers who don't work,
the Shining Stars,
and and came back, Ellsworth.
Ah, God.
So,
let me just appreciate the fact that Carmella won that match. Don't sully it with how she won it.
Yeah. Carmella and Asuka, and what a waste this is for Asuka. I mean, you lose to...
She didn't even lose to Carmella. She lost to Ellsworth.
Right, who was wearing the Asuka mask.
Yeah.
And Asuka was spooked by somebody in her own type of mask.
We found out that Asuka is not ready for Asuka.
I don't know what their plan ahead is for this, but it's dull to me.
Yeah. I guess it's a way to, in their eyes, protect Asuka because, she didn't lose clean to Carmella, but it doesn't help.
No, this is Vince's way of burying NXT talent.
Yeah. But Carmella's NXT talent.
Yeah, but Carmella is a joke. She came out again to a dud reaction from the audience. They don't care. You were probably the only one cheering for her as she was moonwalking.
The people on Tights and Fights, they like her.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just
what culture likes her?
They don't boo. They don't cheer. It's dead to me.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, to me, the next match, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, best match of the entire card. I was surprised how much I really enjoyed that match. And if you remember on the preview show, I was not looking forward to this match. And this was one of those that I thought Knock had a chance at the, but AJ Styles, dude, he is just so freaking awesome.
I think I was doing something when this match was going on, and I kept getting distracted. So I would catch bits here and there, but like, I think that my general disinterest in the feud and the fact that I had things going on, I had to like real quick re-edit some pictures that I had taken a couple weeks ago that they just got all messed up when I was finishing them. So like I wasn't watching the whole thing. So to me, it was just like, oh, seriously, neither of them are wearing cups still.
But I tell you, that match went for almost, it probably went well over half an hour.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to watch it back.
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, the phenomenal forearm onto the table. I mean, just the whole deal. I mean, AJ Styles.
I did like when Nakamura had him on the announce table, and then like he just kind of sauntered over and like kicked off the things from the other announce tables. That was cool, and I saw that gift later, and I was like, yeah.
You're like, I get that one. But that one was really good. You want to talk about the Raw Women's Championship?
We can.
Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Better than I thought it was going to be. Like we already knew that Ronda surprisingly good for being a novice.
Mm-hmm.
And she got a lot of good shit out of Nia.
She did.
Which is not to say that Nia is bad. Nia is fine on her own. I don't know, or going into this, I was unsure whether or not Nia was good enough to carry a match. Mm-hmm. But luckily, the two of them were at a level, in ring, like, we've already said the word a couple times, but together, like they were already chemistry. Their chemistry in the ring was enough so that they were able to, carry each other through the match. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier with Roman and Jinder. Like, Nia is a good worker, and Ronda has enough, star power behind her that she can be the shining star of the match.
Yeah. And
she has enough just, I guess, God-given talent in wrestling, to be able to just jump right into it. That was a good combination. And
I thought it was good that it was a short match. I knew it wasn't going to be a long match, and I felt like they got a lot in. Yeah. It wasn't a lot of like prancing around the ring or doing any kind of holds. It was good.
Loved some of the spots that really like showcased Nia's power, Nia's strength, and like just catching her and then just flinging her.
Yeah.
I love it when monsters do that.
Yeah.
Especially like outside the ring when she was just swatting her against the barrier.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then like the build, because they did this at WrestleMania. They did this here, the build to the armbar.
Yeah.
And then the finish, because I think we both agreed that there was no way either of them were going to come out like losing cleanly to to either person. I was a little surprised.
How much did you mark out?
When
Alexa Bliss's music hit, how much did you jump out? I was
just like, fuck, yes!
I was sitting there, I was like, there is one person that I know for a fact right now that is loving every second of this.
Part of me was like, God damn it, no, let her have a long reign with this fucking Money in the Bank briefcase. But the other part of me was like, yes! It was probably the most I marked out the entire show, and it wasn't even something that I was winning on our predictions.
Right. And like I said earlier, I was hoping she'd lose.
Yeah.
Or that she wouldn't cash in.
Yeah. I was right there with you. Like, part of me was like,
lose.
Part of me was just like, no, just smack, keep smacking them with a briefcase, and like, and then like have, I don't know, like Ronda come in and just like pop, and she's down, like, so she doesn't cash in, like, but at the same time, like, the Raw Women's Championship belt is back where it belongs.
So that's good for you.
I did see someone who was a little salty, I think, no, on Twitter, tweeting about the show. I don't know who it was, but like, it was like, someone was like, I like how Alexa Bliss's character, or maybe gimmick or whatever, is champion.
Well, she's the 5-time champion now?
She's 3 times.
3 times? Well,
Yeah.
5 times in your heart, but
number 1 in my heart. But I will say, I understand where like you're coming from, and maybe some other people are coming from, with like not liking that she was the Money in the Bank winner, and therefore by the transitive property not liking that she was able to cash in and win the women's title back. But out of, seemingly to me at least, out of nowhere, like just this huge backlash, and maybe it's residual heat from the whole being a bully thing, and making fun of Nia's size, but like all these people are just like, Alexa Bliss ain't shit, she doesn't deserve to be women's champion again.
No, I don't really side with that. My biggest thing is, for me, the Money in the Bank ladder match, and granted, they don't do this all the time.
They definitely didn't do it this year.
To me, my favorite part about it is when like a mid-carder wins.
Yeah.
And then they're able to cash in. Like, even with
like
Carmella, right? Even with Carmella, even, she, like, it makes for a better moment when they cash it in.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
When The Miz did it. When CM Punk, I mean, come on, even when like Sheamus, I mean, you go back, I mean, Edge, was a main eventer, but at the time, Edge wasn't always in that picture.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss has been in the title picture
since she got called up.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no doubt about it.
Shut up, Alexa.
Yeah, wrong Alexa.
Oh, she's still listening.
They're all listening. But I don't know. I mean, to me, I was definitely siding more for Becky Lynch. I thought it would have been such a cooler moment for her to cash in on a Carmella. Yeah. Or her to cash in on something like that.
How great would it have been if Becky Lynch won and Ellsworth came out doing that thing, and then like Becky Lynch did the same thing that Alexa Bliss did, but she comes in first, just knocks out Ellsworth with the briefcase.
See, that to me would be more of an interesting. Now, granted, I don't want to diminish any of your excitement, any of your mark-out moment, because it was cool for you, and of course, it's not going to be cool for everybody, and that's why I lost the title, because this pay-per-view obviously wasn't mark-out memorable for me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it was definitely slightly more geared towards a me fan.
Yeah, of course. But in the same sense, I would have loved to have seen a mid-carder.
Yeah. I still would have marked out for Becky Lynch getting it. Because she's my number 2 on that.
Yeah. The men's, I do remember Braun Strowman like taking everybody out to start.
Yeah.
And him being dominant.
I liked the spot where they like buried him under ladders.
I feel like I've seen that before.
Even Michael Cole mentioned that you've seen it before.
Because it's vintage.
Vintage people messing with Braun Strowman.
Right.
Remember the last time when Kane threw all the chairs on him? Thanks, Michael Cole.
As the match went on, I kept feeling myself wanting Rusev to win.
Oh, yeah.
I know I didn't pick him, but I was like, man, that would be pretty cool for Rusev Day. Happy Rusev Day, by the way.
Happy Rusev Day.
It would be great for Rusev to win.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just surprised Braun Strowman won for the same reason that I mentioned before, that he is somebody that's already in the main event picture.
So in this regard, I totally understand. I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from with the women's, but I didn't mark out really almost at all for Braun winning, because I 100% feel the same way as you do right here, because Braun doesn't really do anything special for me. Like, I like Braun. Do not get me wrong. I like Braun. But I think Braun can just go up and be like, I want to challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. He's going to get these hands.
And he would get it.
And he would get it. He doesn't need to run in. Someone like Rusev does.
Right. Seth Rollins did it, where he wasn't in that picture. You had CM Punk years ago. I mean, it's just the way that things kind of line up. I just didn't see it. I didn't like it. But, again, to each their own.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously didn't mark out to that. I didn't mark out to much other than the AJ Styles match. I thought that was the best match. And, unfortunately, I lost the mark out championship to you,
And
it's
still haven't even been able to touch it.
Yeah. It's absent like Steve is again. So,
Hope he's having fun over in sunny Los Angeles, trying to convince the Miz to have an arranged marriage with their kids.
Yeah, or at least play dates, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know kind of what that was all about, but good for him. But it'd be really cool if you would actually relinquish your title. But hey, to each their own. In Cleveland they don't win much.
That's true.
You saw what.
He's got to hold on tight to it.
Yeah, you saw how many games LeBron won in the finals. So about as many as the Browns won all season. So I mean,
so none.
It's that's right. So if we go back to the scoreboard, it looks like from a Smark perspective, yours truly,
dominated,
did very well, very well. So I thought it was predictable from that perspective. I think that's what this kind of like leads into.
Right.
You kind of determine what type of pay-per-view. And from a mark-out perspective, I didn't mark out much.
Yeah, and even with that, like kind of an even, pay-per-view in terms of marking out, because I only bested you on 2 matches, in the marking out.
Right.
Technically 3 because I marked out hard for Bliss, cashing in on Nia Jax, but I did not predict that.
Right.
Because I wanted her to have a long reign.
Yeah. Well.
But
it's okay. You know what I mean?
But now that we've finished talking about the pay-per-view, we can talk about what really matters.
What's that?
Well, you have something I want.
That's true.
I want to know what the most valuable prediction was.
The most valuable prediction is aligned to the most valuable match.
Yeah.
And the match of the night for me was the AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match.
So we both predicted that AJ would win that.
That's correct.
How do we decide who is the most valuable predictor?
Well, I was the first one to make the prediction of AJ Styles winning from a mark-out perspective. So as that... if you go back to the tapes, you'll realize that as well. And it's completely understandable. I mean, you and I kind of go back and forth with our predictions, but I was the first one to state AJ Styles. I think you were second to that. So, unfortunately, as the champion, that's kind of stated in the rules that if I'm the one that puts that out there, then...
that's really convenient for you. It must be nice to be the person that wrote the rules.
Well, that's just how it's set up. I mean, I sent you the rules of the Geek Out MVP title, and that was part of the rules. If you check 13-1A, that is how to determine the tiebreaker. Champion's advantage is if the champion states the name first, and it is the match of the night. So that would be the most valuable prediction.
Yeah.
They retain the MVP. So, unfortunately for you, it remains with me. So, even though I did lose one title, I still am the longest reigning, defending Geek Out MVP champion.
Well, I'll have to make sure that I say all of my predictions first next pay-per-view.
Well, sure, and then you got to get it right, too. I mean, you can't forget that. It's got to be the match of the night, and you got to get it right.
Yeah.
So, next time, come for the fight.
All right. Well. Okay. I see. I'm starting to see the game forming with this MVP belt.
Look, I think you're just upset and jealous because you are not the undisputed champion. I think that really means a lot to you to be the undisputed Geek Out champion. And I think you'll get there one day. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chris. I mean, come on, man. Don't put me out there like that. I'm not cheating the system.
Yeah.
I gave you the rules. That's the rules.
That's true. You did.
You know?
You did
And
explain the rules.
It's something that you want. Go
Yeah.
for it. Attack it. Just like you did for the markout, you know? And it worked out in your favor for this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And we've got another pay-per-view coming up.
Is it Extreme Rules? Is that the next pay-per-view? Because I'm looking at I was looking up the date because, I don't prepare. And it says that it's not until September, which means did we not have a pay-per-view in July?
Oh, Chris.
People keep saying Extreme Rules, so I just assumed that was the next pay-per-view.
Why would you assume that the people and stuff that you're looking up on the interwebs, you're like, oh, I stumbled across these great things. I mean, what are you really reading? And should I even take that?
Oh, no, it's got to be SummerSlam, right?
Why would I take that? I mean, I'm not going to take this information that you're getting for truth.
Wow.
Can you please tell me what the next pay-per-view is?
Google is completely wrong. Google said that Extreme Rules takes place on the day that Hell in a Cell takes place, which is in September. Extreme Rules is our next pay-per-view. I'm now looking at WWE's pay-per-view schedule.
Yeah, thank you for
Extreme
finally
Rules,
looking it up. Why do you not have it prepared,
right?
In hand, ready for these podcasts? I mean, I'm not understanding this.
This is all part of why I'm not the most valuable predictor.
What is going on here?
Extreme Rules is our next pay-per-view. That is July 15th.
Okay.
About 1 month from today.
Great. Well, make sure that you write Killian Dane's name down this time.
Why? He's not going to be there?
Well, he might. You never know. It's extreme.
But that's going to be in Pittsburgh, or Pittsburgh as they stupidly pronounce it in Pennsylvania.
Or Schittsburg is us down south.
True that.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I know about sports is that I hate any team from Pittsburgh.
But I do love Primanti Brothers. Great sandwich there.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Okay. But yeah, so Extreme Rules, July 15th, available on the WWE Network.
So does that mean we got another one coming up?
That means we got another one coming up. We will be here the Friday before for our predictions, and then within a couple days after the pay-per-view, we will be here with our reactions to it.
Will Steve be attending?
Who knows? He might still be on paternity leave.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully we'll have the belt by then, though.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I might just make a new one with a spinner or something. All right. Well, thank you. This has been another episode of Geek Out Championship Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
I've been Mr. Chris Nolan, and
I'm the Timmy C. Drinks on you, Malt. We're wrapping it up.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.